What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. About a week and a half ago, we got some major statistics pertaining to the Overwatch 2 beta. I covered a little bit of this article in my console versus PC video that you guys seem to love. That video is blowing up and has almost 2,000 views as of right now. From looking at my channel statistics, I also realized that a lot of you are still wondering how powerful the Junker Queen actually is. So let's dive in and take a look at the article's statistics when it comes to Junker Queen. The Queen reigns supreme. Commanding Shout is a focal point of Queen's power because it applies an AoE health and speed boost to her and her entire team. In the past, hero changes that adjusted a hero's health pool or speed had extremely strong effects on their performance, so it certainly had the potential to affect the game in a similar way. Player feedback in hand, the next process began. Could we verify these concerns in our data? One of the ways we often look at heroes is to compare their output in several basic statistics to see if anything unusual stands out. When we pulled these stats for tanks in the first week of the beta, a certain column jumped off the page for Queen. Can you see it too? Honestly, as I was first looking around, I couldn't quite figure out what they were talking about, but with a little closer inspection, I realized that it was her damage taken. It has negative 33.3%. That is ridiculous for Junker Queen. I've been saying this whole time, her hitbox is too small for a tank. She has no abilities that block incoming damage and she's still beating out heroes like D.Va and Doomfist. But let's move on and see what else they have to say. The article states here, does it seem odd that the Junker Queen doesn't take a lot of damage? She's a tank who doesn't have a shield, nor does she have the ability that can block or absorb damage, yet she has the second least damage taken in the first week of the beta. Even Doomfist, who does have an ability that blocks damage these days, seems to pay for his lesser damage taken in other ways with lower performance in other stat rates. It's worth noting that being better or worse in any of these stats isn't necessarily a cause for concern. They indicate hero playstyles and characteristics more than anything related to winning. However, for Junker Queen to take this little damage with no mitigation, the only explanation was to confirm the suspicions of the player base. She's just harder to hit than other tanks. And honestly, most of us know this when we played the Overwatch 2 beta. Junker Queen was super powerful, not specifically pertaining to any of her abilities, maybe her commanding shout, but really it was just how small she was and how quick she could move around. This is why in one of my videos I really felt like Reinhardt was a really good counter to Junker Queen, because you could hit her very easily by swinging his giant hammer around. But let's move on and see what else they have to say. Having confirmed Junker Queen is indeed a smaller target than Reinhardt or Roadhog, we turned our attention to the other player feedback on the influence of commanding shout on Queen's games. Building from the above investigation, the theory was that the Queen has no other ways to save her team from incoming damage. Her shout must be contributing in some powerful fashion for her to continue winning games at such a high clip. To confirm whether this was the case, we analyzed death rates, but framed them in a unique context. We wanted to understand how often other heroes were dying when played alongside a particular tank on the field. Below are the results of the study for the first week of the beta. Immediately upon looking at this, you can see that the Junker Queen is the second lowest on the tier, which is ridiculous. She should not be coming anywhere close to Sigma. He has a barrier and a damage absorption ability, which no other characters have, and for him to only be winning by a tiny bit means that she is doing so extremely well beating out all the other tanks, she is super overpowered. The article states here, we were expecting some signal here, but not anything this drastic. Junker Queen, a hero whose only methods to protect her own team are her commanding shout and blocking hits with her body, which isn't as easy as shown above. This was somehow preventing teammate deaths at a rate almost on the level of Sigma, who has a shield and damage absorption ability. Taken together, these two analyses painted a clear picture of Junker Queen at the beginning of the beta. She was incredibly popular, won far more matches than she lost, and was taking less damage than most of the other tanks. Confirming these phenomena with data gave us confidence in the direction we took her balance, resulting in a reduction in power of her commanding shout and a slight reduction in area of her rampage ultimate. And that is all they have to say about Junker Queen. So they actually gave us quite a bit there, and at the very end, they reminded me of something that we haven't even talked about yet. How crazy her ultimate was. I addressed this a little bit in one of my previous videos, but her area of effect when it comes to her ultimate ability is ridiculous. Even if you think you're jumping out of the way, sometimes you get clipped by it and you really shouldn't be, which is why they made these changes to her. We got to play her a little bit at the end of the beta with the specific changes that they did to her, but it's going to take a lot more time playing with her in the actual release of Overwatch 2 than we got in the beta to figure out if she's still going to be as powerful as she was. I would be very interested to see the new statistics after they made these changes to see where it actually places her now. but we're just gonna have to wait and see if they give us any more statistics like this. It's been a long time since they've given us this level of information, so hopefully we'll receive more of this in the future. There are a couple other pieces of information that come out of the article that I might be making videos on in the future, but that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much. I'll catch you on the next one. Flash out.